looked at the facility when we did our analysis, so they're more familiar with it than anybody else. Can any other firm come in that knows what they're doing? Yes. I use the ones that are already familiar with our facility, so I don't need to have any kind of startup time. The firm BVH is the firm that we solicited for our facility assessment for the town. So we already went through a process. They're already familiar with our facility, and they did the original design.
Okay.
So they'll be able to look at it and tell me without much time on what the systems are doing and what the recommendation is. So at this point, it's not a hard design. It's a preliminary review and it checks and balances. But when we do something big, if we have to do the design, I expect they'll go out to bid. We'll do a design build or something like that.
Thank you. I have just two quick questions.
Sure.
So all the rooms now are currently usable. You said it was just the band room that hadn't been fixed, but you've got the temporary systems in place there?
So the band room is usable,
Okay,
and we have a portable ventilation system in
Great.
there. It's a little noisy, but they haven't
But they
complained
can
about
use
it
it.
yet. But they can use the room.
okay,
The classrooms on the second floor are all usable, except for the main floor, the PE classroom and the locker room.
It's the engineering room or something.
So the which I call the tech ed is called the,
My kids better be correct.
yeah, they have a classroom in there that's not usable, but their other facility is. So they do have a back classroom, they can't really use that, but they can use the shop area where the lift is and all the tools. So they can use that.
one other question. So the issue about you mentioned that rooms aren't usable due to airflow and ventilation issues. Are those unique to this time and having ventilation for COVID, or would this be as big a concern were we not dealing with?
It's a bigger concern because of COVID. I
Okay.
think their spaces are
Right.
comfortable. The staff could go in there and have a one-on-one, I think. It's the number of people in there.
It's more about the public
How many-
health aspect
Yes,
of it,
it's more about the ventilation
right?
that we increased for the COVID issues.
Gotcha. Okay,
Absolutely.
okay,
Yeah, otherwise, I think this would be the perfect time to just have the windows
Right.
opened and
right,
be able to use the room and you're kind
I
of
see.
before heat, but
It's really the
After
air
air
conditioning that's been damaged and part of the heating system. Most of the heat comes from the perimeter heat. So it's not, this isn't the first time it happened. And we've just had the perimeter heat. Rooms might be a little cooler, but they've been fine. And we just waited for the parts.
And you have the portable units now, so is it totally shut down, that unit? Or is it?
No, the
usable at
unit's
all?
not totally shut down, but that one rooftop unit just moves air in all those rooms. So what we did is we shut the dampers off on the bigger rooms so we could get the air flowing, because we only had limited air in the rooms that would work. And if we did the band room, then none of the other rooms would have ventilation. So we shut the band room off. So the unit's running at some capacity and it's moving air. And there's ways for us to calculate what the air is and how much is supposed to be in the room and how much is going in there. There's sensors.
I think my question centered around, is it possible that it could leak again?
Yes. No,
Wrong
not
answer.
not leak. Is it possible it can fail again? The answer is yes, because we have it working sort of on a repair.
Okay.
So if you can imagine that the fan is half broken, there's two big sections of the fan. So we remove the broken part, but the other part's still working. So it's not perfectly balanced, it's shaking a little more than we'd like to see. But we did it once before. This happened on the academic side, and we did the same thing. Until we get the part, we're moving air. We move as much as we possibly can, and we can see how much was moving to get the flow. And so if we get airflow, we're good.
Sure.
It's just not designed amount, so we can't use all the rooms.
Is there anything, so you'll come back to us in a month or ish?
Yes.
When you have a sense of what's
Yes.
next. Is there anything that you need from us in the meantime, or anything you should expect to?
No, I just wanted to keep you up to date. TJ, of course, is in the loop and knows what's going on, and he's been very cooperative. And we agreed the band room at first would be the one we'd sacrifice. It's nice out there doing marching band outside. But as soon as we could come up with a fix, we did.
Yep.
And if there was a room that he needed, we could expand it too, but, he saw what the units are. I could buy more of them. They're very expensive. And, they're noisy. So if you have a noisy unit in a room, how can you teach anyway?
Sure.
I think they're making do at the band room because there's no really other place for them. If anything else on that, I will keep you up to date and
Thank you, Bill.
I'll post you next time.
That's great.
The solar project, of course, is complete.
Great.
We're still finalizing some paperwork. I expect that to be done, in the next month or so. And they're working, I think, other than the month delay, I think it was a successful project. I haven't heard any complaints. The lights are working underneath. They're very bright. I think it was a successful project. Approximately 10% or a little less than 10% of electricity will be from them. So, and then we have almost the same size on Polson too. So Polson is getting more. So maybe someday we could do more, but at this point, just
We fulfilled our obligation.
yeah, so successful.
Awesome.
When do they think the panels will go up inside the TV to monitor the use?
November 2nd.
Okay.
So November 2nd, when there's no kids in the school, they're planning on putting the panels up.
Thank you.
And so,
That's exciting.
yeah,
And then I keep telling my boys, have you seen it? Have you seen it?
yeah, the panels will go up November 2nd.
That's good.
And those are the ones that will show the usage and the flow and all that stuff.
Yep.
Super.
I believe the one's going out in the hallway out here, in the main hallway is on the other side of those doors, and then the other one I believe is going in the library, in the high school. The lot too.
Thank you, Bill.
Welcome. School renewal plan?
All right.
That little thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, also.
I'm gonna let Chuck talk about the new school proposal. He has all the details and he'll be at the meeting
Okay.
tonight. I'm happy to talk about it in general. We have the contract signed and I'm moving forward with some testing on the property that we're acquiring. And, the owners are very cooperative, so that's, I'm working, with the water companies to figure out the water supply. And those are the two things that I was working on, but Chuck will go over the numbers and
Detail.
Polson and Brown, I'm working on doing some stuff that we have planned in our CIP that we got approval for, and some planned cycle maintenance money that we have. Polson, I'm going to work on the front entry and the appearance of the front of the building. That will include, the security entrance, rearranging the office. And I'd like to tackle this main hallway that comes from the main door up to this area. We're going to try to make it, the floor a little lighter, a little more light, whether with light or outside air, skylights. I think skylights will be is a wish, but I think we can change the lighting and the floor and appearance of the main hallway. And that will be the first of hopefully all the halls that we do. So excited about doing that. We have a meeting tomorrow with the principals to go over the plans. As soon as I have something that the principals, like, and I think that we're gonna move forward with, I'll bring it to the facilities committee to look at. I'm hoping I'll have that at our next meeting, whatever that is. And similar to Brown School, with our CIP, we're doing the same thing. The front entry, the courtyard, making the front entrance safer, making it more appearance, more ADA compliance. The office will probably do some modifications to the front office. Polson will be much more aggressive than Brown just because of the layout and size. But we will, do the courtyard. If you've been up to Brown School, there's like a little planting area over there. We're hoping to expand that with some kind of partitions, planters or something. So maybe that could be part of the cafeteria and be safe.
Oh, that'd be nice.
You know, that's the intention. And once again, we're meeting tomorrow with the architects and the principals to go over the plan. Once we have a concept, I'll bring it to you guys, and, you know, we're hoping to bid that out earlier than normal. Usually we don't bid stuff out until after the first of the year. And, you know, award it, we always figure 8 weeks for supplies. I don't know, that last 2 years, that hasn't worked.
No, sure.
So we're gonna try to move it along a little faster.
Supply chain, so let's see.
And that's for work over the summer, right, Bill?
Yes, next summer. The funding is in place. I wanted to bid it out, you know,
Summer of 22.
bid it out this winter and do it summer of 22.
This is a very specific question.
Sure.
Are you still thinking carpet? I know all the other schools kind of have linoleum or whatever.
We're not thinking carpet.
You're not thinking carpet.
That's one of the things. We're not thinking carpet.
Hold on.
We're thinking something, you know, like the high school, you know, something a little brighter, little shinier. It's funny because we went from that to carpet. So unfortunately, the old tile is underneath the carpet in the other parts of the area. This is concrete, so I think it'll be easier.
Mhm.
Taking up the old tile is gonna be, you know, just costly, just costly. And we won't be able to have anybody in the school when we do it.
Imagine that you're doing something that's actually going to be easier.
Yes, it'll be easier. That's why I'm starting this section.
That's great.
Yeah. Brown School, we're also looking at trying to improve the east wing, which is the wing out in the back half. We're trying to get more light and have a better appearance back there to that section. We have some ideas, and then once again, we're working on the plans and ideas with the architect. Once I have a finalized plan, I'll bring it to you. I think we need the principals and the superintendent and everyone to buy onto the plan first before I bring it to you guys so that you can look at it. So those are my plans for, you know, improving and upgrading the Polson and Brown. I think we decided that I'd focus most of our resources there. I will not ignore Ryerson. I will not ignore Jeffrey School, whatever the principals have for their priority. You know, with the understanding of potentially that those schools won't be around, you know, 2025. We don't want to spend a ton of money on stuff,
Sure.
but we will keep the schools up to date. We will do whatever we need to do to make sure that they're healthy and safe and functional. So but when it comes to big dollars, we're going to focus on Polson and Brown.
No?
So tonight at the full board meeting, we'll get a full report, like you mentioned, so Chuck will be here to talk about the new school and the aspects, is that right?
Yes, so the ed specs, we'll review, it's the first reading of the ed specs, and we'll also go over the project budget. And then also the estimated district share calculation, so how much the state would be, you know, across the school.
Yeah, Chuck has those numbers really down, so
Oh, I bet.
he's going to be here. I just assume wait.
Yeah, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I'm curious, but maybe this will happen later, Dr. Cook, about just the outreach that you've been doing to the community and PTOs. Will you give an update on that?
Yes, I
tonight,
can
or-
do that, yeah.
Okay. Then he's making the rounds about the facilities renewal. Okay, public comment is the next. Wendy, do we have any, if there's any members of the public who would like to speak, please raise your hand or let Wendy know on Zoom. Do we have anyone, Wendy?
No, at the moment, no one is raising their hand.
I'll give them a minute just so, our next meeting is November 9th. And I'll be here. So is this sort of like our regular meeting place for meetings from now on?
I think it will be for the immediate future, because it gives us some space if we have public wanting to attend, and the
Yeah.
technology works pretty good for us. So,
I agree, it's nice. I almost went to town campus
Yeah.
today. I was like, I'm not okay, but it's close.
So no, I have November
no,
9th,
it's-
facility committee. Hopefully I'll have an update on all these projects.
Great,
Maybe I'll have some plans to show you too. That'd be fun.
yeah?
I have a tribal report. Is that just a mistake? on that?
That's after, so what we have some working parts to kind of get in place for that. So the plan is that All new board members would be sworn in on
Oh,
the
yeah.
8th, and we'd have an organizational meeting, hopefully the night of the 8th, which will allow us to go into committee meetings on the 9th.
Yes, okay.
Otherwise, we'd have to wait till the meeting on the 9th to establish committee membership.
Wendy, has anyone in the meantime raised their hand?
No, no one has.
Okay, and there's no one here in public, in person.
Okay.
All right, so any other comments from the group? No, motion to adjourn, so moved.